What's up, everybody? Welcome to the new series for the Brojo YouTube channel, and that is the series on emotional shamelessness. So, we've discovered through Brojo that one of the biggest problems affecting people throughout the world is that they're ashamed of normal, natural human emotions in various ways. And because of this, they don't get to use those emotions, they suppress them and cause themselves all kinds of problems, and they miss out on the power and the insight that emotions give you, and they understand that emotions are life itself. So we're going to start with one of the ones that causes people the most shame, and that's anger. So anger is power, and yet very few people see it that way. Many people seem to confuse anger with rage, and they see anger as this destructive force. It's one of the things I hate most about the what you might call the spiritual gurus. They talk about how anger is something that you need to suppress and overcome and ignore and avoid and detach yourself from. And yet because of this, you lose all masculine power. Rage is not anger. Rage is what happens when you hold down your anger and it explodes. Violence, sexual assault. I used to work with so many criminal offenders in this spectrum, violent and sexual offenders. And every time I investigated their behavior, I found it was one of two things. Either it was instrumental violence, which means it was cold and calculated. There was no anger behind it. It was more of a weapon of manipulation. But more commonly, it was an explosion, what Dr. Robert Glover calls a puke, where somebody has held back all the bitterness and resentment and frustrations that are built up throughout the week or the years, and then when they finally feel safe enough to let it out, it explodes out. And this is so often why people hurt the ones they love the most, is because they feel the safest with them. Somebody comes home, they've burnt the dinner, and this guy just explodes. Now, he doesn't actually care that much about the dinner being burnt. What he cares about is all the little frustrations that have happened throughout the week or throughout the months or his entire life, and it all just comes exploding out. And the one time he stops suppressing his anger. Rage also turns inwards. I've heard once a description of depression is rage turned inwards, and I think that's a very apt description. So many people, their depression comes from people pleasing. They come from turning in their rage. Everything that they're upset about with other people, they turn on themselves. They say it's my fault, and they turn it in, and they go, oh, why do I keep getting depressed? It's so weird. What is anger? Anger is simply power and heat. Anger is the override for fear. Without anger, dictators would rule. People think that someone like Hitler wouldn't exist if we didn't have anger, but he would. He was a sociopath. He doesn't need anger to do terrible things. But we needed anger. Those soldiers, those countries, they needed anger to face the bullets to overcome him, because they were afraid of those bullets. But anger's there as the override switch for fear. We're afraid of doing something, but we need to do that thing for our survival, we'll get angry. We'll get frustrated, then we'll get mad, and then we'll get the power of anger to help us overcome that fear. So anger is courage. Anger is passion. People often think passion is somehow associated to happiness, but happiness is comfort. It's contentment. You don't feel massively urged to do anything when you're happy. You feel passionate when you're angry, when you're looking to solve a problem. People think of anger as a negative, but if you just take the negative away and just look at it as power and heat, then you can clearly see how anger is passion. The most passionate people in the world are the ones who are trying to solve the problem that bothers them the most. In many of my videos, I might look like I'm having a good time, but I'm angry. And I'm having a good time. This is anger right now. Me being passionate about what I'm talking about is anger. I've learned to make my peace with anger and understand it's a powerful force. It allows me to speak my mind even though I know I'm going to get emails that tell me I'm a dickhead and all that kind of stuff. Right? It allows me to power through that fear. So anger is passion. If you're wondering why you lack purpose and meaning in your life, why there's no passion in your job, odds are you need to start with your problems with anger. You need to start letting your anger out, let it build, let that range expand, and then it will finally expand into passion. And boundaries. People will walk all over you if you can't get angry. Anger is there to tell you with frustration, with upset, with offense that somebody's crossed the line, either with you or someone you care about. Anger is there to give you the power to step up and say, hey, stop right there. That's enough. So understand that anger is there to solve problems. It's there to focus your engagement passionately on your tasks. It's there to help you stand up for yourself and others. Without anger, the dictators rule. There's no passion in your life. There's no meaning or purpose. And you won't get anything done to a satisfactory level. So stop shitting on your anger and start letting it out. Speak up. Understand the difference between being angry and acting out of anger. You can just be angry. You don't have to punch someone in the face. But you can say, God damn, I'm angry with you right now. And let that conversation unfold. I'll see you next time for the next one in the series. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for more. Cheers.